welcome to this episode of my Women Empowerment Wednesday show. My name is Jessica DSB. Enjoy this episode.
Welcome. I was going to say happy Wednesday. No, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Yes, it's Women Empowerment Wednesday show, but we're doing it Monday. So welcome to all of you that'll be watching live. If you're going to be watching live, type live. If you're going to be watching replay, type replay. My name is Jessica. For those that are just seeing me for the first time this week, who I am is a flight attendant. I am an entrepreneur, 2 times best international selling author, and I am the founder of the Women Empowerment Show. I'm super excited to be with all of you today. What is the Women Empowerment Wednesday show? It is a weekly Facebook Live that I host with a special guest. Today's actually the last show of my flight attendant series. Oh my God, Jamie, you didn't know this, but I was hosting a flight attendant series for the last 7 or 8 weeks, which has been awesome. I will be back to not flight attendants, but regular entrepreneurs. And we have weekly conversations that are inspiring, empowering, touching, and not only with me and the special guest, but to bring upon a movement, to bring those conversations in the lives of the people that you care about. So I'm inviting you to do so. If you're not part of my Women Empowerment by Jessica DSB Facebook group, join the group where you'll see all the episodes today. I do believe it's episode 43. So you'll see all the different episodes there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today is so special. Happy International Women's Day. Yay! I'm excited to have the conversation with a very special guest, and I'll be introducing him in 1 minute. But really, I wanted to take a moment because it is special. March 8th, International Women's Day. I'm a big women empowerment advocate. You know who's been following me. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate all the women in your life, but also a huge celebration for all the past generations of incredible women that stood up for us and for the rights that we have today. So big shout out to everybody. Hello, Julie. And last thing I want to mention is Wednesday. This Wednesday, we're hosting a Women in Power event, which is going to be a women empowerment conference live for free. All you need to do is register on the Eventbrite link. I'll put it in the chat later today. It's going to be an incredible event from 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Incredible guest speakers, also forecasting women entrepreneurs and their businesses. So join us, join this movement, and it'll all celebrate together. I always say we rise by lifting each other. So yay, I'm excited. Hello. So today I am joined with the amazing Mr. Jamie Smith. Why do I say it like that? It's because even before meeting him, I knew of him. I had heard of him from other flight attendants. It's a true story. And I couldn't wait to meet you in person. And what an honor. What an honor. Who is Jamie? Jamie is a certified life coach. He's a certified law of attraction facilitator. He is a motivational entertainer, flight attendant for many years, and powerful and entertaining speaker. I am so honored to have some of your time today. Welcome, Jamie.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And Ledger, my brother's cat.
Hey, welcome.
Happy International Women's Day to you and to all of the women watching today. I am a huge, always been, just say, like, women have changed my life. You know, I came out at the age of 18 to my mom, and women have always been there for me during my coming out phase. So I'm always been a strong advocate for women's empowerment, and I stand up for all of my female friends. And I wanted to just share a quote I found from Sadhguru. He's an amazing Indian guru. He said, "Feminine is not a gender." Well, we know that. Feminine is not a gender, it is a dimension. A
Mm.
dimension. And I think that women are taking us there. Women are taking us there to that divine feminine that we need so much on this planet. So I just wanted to share that. So I
Love
salute
it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay. We're gonna talk about a very, very interesting and like I'm passionate about that topic. But before we get into the topic, hello, Momo-chan, Amir, not sure the let me hear a bit more about who you are. I said flight attendant for many years and a bunch of other incredible things about you, but let me hear a bit more about who you are.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm like you, I wear a lot of hats, but I love all of the hats that I wear. I'm a multi-passionate person. So I've been a flight attendant for Air Canada for 23 years, currently on layoff status, which for me is actually a blessing in disguise with everything that I've got going on. I'm also a professionally trained actor, but I gave that up when I became a flight attendant. I recently got back into my acting a few years ago. And about 10 years ago, I went back to school because I felt something was missing in my life after a really painful breakup. I went back to school and I did life coach training because I just really am passionate about healing and motivation and the power of our thinking and the law of attraction and what shows up in our life as a result of what we're thinking and self-care. Right. So I did life coaching for a while, one-on-one. I taught and then I became a certified law of attraction facilitator. I met a man named Michael Losier. He's a best-selling author of the book Law of Attraction. And I had heard him he was interviewed by Oprah on Oprah and Friends radio. And she's like, you have to get this book. It's so simple, a child could get it. And I like simple. I don't know about you, but I don't know why things have to be sometimes so complicated. For me, the simplest things are the most powerful. But for whatever reason, we like complicated. So I read his book and then I went to hear him speak when I moved to Vancouver, and his work really changed my life. I find that even though I was already a life coach, I was having good days and bad days, and I didn't know why. But it wasn't until I really learned about the law of attraction that I really understood that there was how important it is to stay in a high vibration. And we can talk a little bit about that. And his work really helped to change my life. So I've been doing law of attraction seminars and a bit of acting as well. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. I'm so happy we're going to talk. Oh my God. Yeah. We're going to talk today about the law of attraction and energy healing. Welcome to everybody that's watching live. If you're watching live, type live so I can see who's there with us in this conversation. So like I was saying, when I first heard of you, I can't remember, probably at the beginning of my career. And then we finally flew together again. I don't know how many years ago, but I remember the plane that we were in. I remember we were in the back galley and we had talked about the law of attraction. So what you just shared about your mentor, Michael Losier, I remember you sharing with that. And that was years ago, because I remember my daughter was a baby. And I was also in my beginning phase of learning about the law of attraction. So when I asked you what topic you'd like to talk about today, you said law of attraction. So I'm like, yay! Yeah. And why did you want to talk about that today?
That's a good question. I just think that a lot of people, first of all, when I got certified by Michael Losier, I'm a certified law of attraction trainer. That was the /facilitator. So I want, if you're watching live, get a pen and paper, because chances are my hunch is you're going to want to take some notes, because that's my style, is that when you write it down, you really integrate the material. But his work helped. The reason I love talking about it is because his work is very different than you said. We talked about The Secret earlier.
Yes.
That was kind of my first introduction, and a lot of people's first introduction to the law of attraction. And it's a really great introduction because it really shows that if you're negative all the time, you're going to attract negative experiences. But the missing piece, and actually Michael was asked to be on The Secret and he said no, because he wanted to talk about, there's one missing piece, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble here, but basically why I love his work, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
His work is broken into two, and my work is broken into two parts. The first is how to stop attracting negative things, okay? And then the second part is how to be a deliberate attractor and dream big and go for your greatest dreams. But the thing is that like in The Secret, it talks about, write a check for $10 million and look at it and then you'll attract it. Well, most of us have a lot of stuff, myself included. It's taken me years to unpack all of the negative beliefs that I've had around money and self-worth.
Yes.
If you don't clean that up first, it's going to take you a really long time to attract that $10 million. And I'm still a work in progress here, and that's why I really love talking about it, because this work that I do is like transformational from the inside out. So,
And I want to add, a lot of those things that we're carrying are unconscious. We're not even fully aware that we're carrying those things.
Yeah.
And I love that you talked about money, because one of my biggest thing that I was carrying is my relationship with money, right? From a very, very young child until I took, even just recently, I took another class on how to have a healthy relationship with money. And a lot of things were unconscious. Why did I have that mindset? Well, from a very young child. So what you're saying is exactly true, right? You can just don't write $10,000 when you're not cleaning up what you're bringing with you, right?
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I would love to know. We can talk about it. I mean, we're live, right? There's people watching, and they can type in the comment section what is it they want to attract. Like, I'd love to, and you can read them if they're.
Yes. Hey, for the people that are watching live, let us know, what would you like to attract? Let's backtrack for the people that might be watching and don't, or never heard about law of attraction.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's do it.
So basically the law of attraction states it's that you get, the best definition that I heard is that you get in your life whatever you give your energy, attention, and focus to. That's the first part. Second part is whether positive or negative. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, it was like a gong went off, because about 10 years ago, I moved to Vancouver. I was having these good days and bad days. And when I heard that definition, I was like, okay, on my bad days, if I was honest with myself, I was looking at everything that was wrong about Vancouver, comparing it to Montreal, everything I didn't like about Vancouver, and it put me in a bad mood. And but after I realized that what I wanted was to focus on the positive, and this is what happens, is that you really truly get what you focus on. I came home from Michael Ozier's seminar on this seminar high, and I took out one of the books from my shelf, and this card that I knew I had it, but I don't remember putting this card in the book. And this card popped out of the book, and it said, it was from Deepak Chopra, and it's basically, I'm paraphrasing, but it's, I look for the good. No, that's what it was. I look for the good in every moment. And I made a decision in that moment to just say, okay, I don't know how long I'm going to stay in Vancouver, but while I'm here, I'm going to look for the good. And I went through my days, look at the cherry blossoms, look at the mountains. That person was really kind. And I just started to attract better and better experiences. And I've been in Vancouver for 10 years now.
That's awesome.
Well, that's the first definition. That's the best basic definition. Yeah.
Do you have another definition?
No, well, it's just that it's that I like to say that it's this universal energy, and I can't put it in a Petri dish. I can't prove it to you, but it is this energy, and it is consistently eavesdropping on our most dominant vibrations. And a vibration is just a mood or a feeling. And all of us have a mood or a feeling right now. I'm excited and happy to speak to you. All right. And what I think for me, what changed my life is when in the seminar that I took, he said that our natural state is actually happy. Look at this cat right now. He's just relaxed and happy. Like that's our natural state is just happy. And when we are in that state, we attract the same experiences. So our jobs as flight attendant, I always say this in my seminars, our job description is this long, but the universe has a 2-word job description. It's to match your vibrations. It's just to match your moods and feelings. That's all it's doing. Now, the good thing is it doesn't match them instantly, because we're allowed to feel down sometimes. Happens in life, and we're not always going to be feeling happy, right? But once we know that that's our compass, like joy is our compass, then we know that we are supposed to bring ourselves back to that place and not just for ourselves, but for everybody around us. And that is how we can have a healing effect on everyone, including animals,
Woo! I can't wait to hear about that. Hello, Marissa. Welcome. Again, if you're watching live, type live. And what we were asking earlier, what would you like to attract? We're talking about the law of attraction. What, name in the comments one thing that you'd love to attract right now. We want to read you. I'm studying right now NLP, and she was educating us that when you're in that high vibration, when you're in that connected, when you're aligned, you're vibrating so many kilometers.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that is so awesome. You've heard of that before, right?
That I have never heard it said that way, and I love that, but that is so true, because about 7 years ago, I think, I went to the I Can Do It conference in Vancouver at the Hay House convention. It was amazing. And Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's since passed, he's one of my favorite authors, spiritual teachers. He was there, and we were all excited. And we're a bunch of flight attendants who went to see him. And you know how we are, like a little bubbly, and we're nervous. We want to get our seat. And we're putting, like, save that seat for so and so, right? And so anyway, so then, like, we're all like excited and nervous and whatever. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Wayne Dyer is the first speaker. And instead of coming on from the stage, he came on through the back.
Wow.
And this hush came over and everybody was doing the same. Everyone was like finding their seat and everything. And as soon as he walked in, he went like this. He went, "Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi, nice to see you. I'd like to come from the back." And he walked down the stairs. He's like, "Hello, hello." And there was this hush.
Yes.
This calmness. And I said, one person, kilometers, there you go. Right?
It's like a Tony Robbins event. I don't know if you've been.
I have.
You're like, I've never did cocaine, but like.
That's the opposite. Yeah.
You're on the.
My events are in between.
It's the opposite, but at the end, I think at the core, it's because these individuals are so connected with themselves, and they're vibrating on such a high level that it brings that to this whole scene, like, of hundreds and hundreds of people, right? Fatima says, attract success. Hey, Mary, welcome. You're live. Fatima says, love Tony Robbins. Oh yeah, love Tony Robbins. So yes, that energy, that vibration. So what would you say, Jamie, to somebody that's having a bad day or a bad few days or bad weeks?
I'm so glad, because I wanted to talk about that. That's so
we're connected.
So yes, here's what, again, this is the healing, the transformation part that has been the deepest transformation for my life. In law of attraction, we call anything that doesn't feel good, okay? And things happen. It could be a death of a family member. You could get diagnosed with an illness. You could declare bankruptcy. You could whatever. Things have happened. I have definitely had negative things happen in my life. But in law of attraction, we call all of those things contrast. Now, here's the deal. There's two things with contrast, and you guys might want to write this down. The first thing is contrast is your new best friend. Okay, now, why did I just say, well, you should focus on the positive? And now why am I saying that contrast is your new best friend? Is because all of that stuff, any chaos, anything that doesn't feel good, confusion, anything like that, is showing you what you don't want. Okay, it's a gift. So all challenges are actually blessings. Even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment, they contain opportunities for growth and for you to step in and get in alignment. So that's the first thing. And I do an exercise. I've done it with so many people, and this is the energy healing piece that I was going to share with you.
Yes.
Why it's important to clean that up is because the other piece of contrast is that you want to experience contrast briefly, but it's essential. Contrast is essential. It's your new best friend, but you also want to experience it as briefly as possible for you. Now, it depends what's going on in your life. If a family member dies, you might be in contrast for months because you're grieving, and that's healthy. But when you know that if a lot of people, when stuff happens like that, when the shit hits the fan kind of saying, what we do is we go, why is this happening? We go into victim mode. This shouldn't be happening. This sucks. And we go into that and we stay there in this negative vibration. But when we can look at it and go, okay, this is just here to show me what I don't want. The reset question is, what do I want? And when I do my seminars, I give out everybody on their seat, they get a law of attraction button and it says reset. And the reset question is, so what do I want? What do I want? And you keep asking yourself that, and that moves you out of a negative, right? That moves you out of that funk and start moving up. So there's a vibrational scale, right? Negative and positive. Our natural state is positive. Like I said, it's happy. It's somewhere between, Michael Lozzi says 85 and 98. I mean, unless you're Jesus or Mother Teresa, nobody's at 100 all the time. But love is 100. Yes. And do you know what 99 is? Number 99 is gratitude. Ooh. And so in Tony Robbins, he said that it's really, sometimes if you're down here, you've been diagnosed with an illness and it's really, you're scared. It's not, it wouldn't even be, no therapist would even say, well, just be happy or just get over it. That would be so mean. You can't go from here to here on certain things. That's called a quantum leap. But you can always go from here to thinking of something you're grateful for. And that actually helps you have a quantum leap. You can be, well, I'm grateful for in this moment I'm breathing. It could be as simple as that, but that shifts your vibrational scale, right? So with contrast, and like I said, experiencing briefly, if you walked into a room that stank, how long would you stay there?
Not too long.
Right? If you get in your car and you listen to a radio station that's terrible, how long would you listen to it? Okay. If you're in a relationship that stinks, how long do you stay there? Some of us, now it's different, but some of us stay for years and years, and that's okay. There's no judgment here. And I think that what I want everyone to know is that it's important to process the contrast without shame, without judgment. But if you stay there for too long, you will attract more contrast. Does that make sense?
Oh, you don't know how much joy you're bringing me. So I hope everybody that's watching are feeling the same joy, because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that people spoke to me about you, and then I got to meet you in person a few times, and then again I'm spending more time with you live today. I'm so grateful. You have such wise words, the way you speak, the way you show up. I'm very, very in the moment. I'm feeling amazing. So thank you. Hello, Natalie. Mary says, attracting abundance and radiating. Love it. Hello, Beatrice. She says, trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, love always win. And then Maria says, nice. Welcome to all of you watching live. I love it. Thank you. There's so many thoughts coming in as I'm listening to you. I'm like, okay, which direction do I go with this conversation?
I have a lot to share.
Last night, I was like, okay, before I start my week, I'm just gonna, have a quiet moment. I'm gonna watch something on the TV. And I started watching The Secret, the latest one. I think it's 2020, last year. And I just watched the beginning, so I haven't watched the whole thing, but that's exactly what was happening with the mother of the family. She was constantly focusing on all the bad things that were happening in their lives. And until this guy came up to her and be like, hey, you don't want that. And that's what you keep focusing on, what you don't want. But what is it that you do want? What is it that you do want? One of the famous quotes from one of my mentors was always, life is like a GPS. You have to put a destination in that GPS. If not, you're gonna go in circles. So what do you want? Where do you want? And even if I relate to what I'm reading, what is exactly abundance to you? What is success to you? Be clear, right?
And I think that, well, do we have a few more minutes to talk about?
Yeah, go ahead.
So get out a pen and paper, because this is the 3-step deliberate attraction process. I usually only give it in my seminars, but I'm going to give it to you guys. Free. Say yes if you like free stuff.
Yes.
I do. So there's 3 steps to having what you want. And I've used this for everything, and it works. And the only reason that you would have delay in manifesting what you want is just because you've got some stuff. So this process will bring up your stuff, but that's a good thing, because you need to be able to look at it and go, wow, that is no longer serving me. That thought doesn't feel good. That's not what I want. But this is I use this for everything. I've used this with clients. I've used this with neighbors and friends. So there's 3 steps to having, like, I heard somebody say, who was that? I don't know if it was Julie or somebody said more abundance.
Mary.
Mary, sorry.
Yeah.
So abundance. Okay, so you can use this for everything. So there's 3. This is the 3-step deliberate attraction process. The first step is you got to get clear on what you want. Okay, but get specific. Okay, and you know this. So it's like, I want, like, for example, with your next book, I want it to be another bestseller. I want it to be. Like, don't just, like, dream big. When Michael Losier signed a copy of my book, he wrote, "Dream big, allow bigger," because maybe the universe can dream even something beyond, and chances are that's usually what is going to happen. It's going to dream something even bigger, but you have to get clear. A lot of people think like they're waiting for the universe, but the universe is also waiting for you. So that's step 1. Now there's a tool that's called the clarity through contrast exercise. You can Google it. There's YouTube videos on Michael Losier's channel. But basically it's making a list on the left-hand side of all of the things currently that don't feel good around that. At the top, you put my ideal book launch, or my ideal, let's say you're having an issue with your relationship. So you either put something you want to manifest, and sometimes people, this can be the hardest step because people are, well, I don't know what I want. Okay, if that's you and you don't know what you want, then pick the area of your life that's causing you the most stress and clean that up. Because you clean that up, everything else will begin to fall into place. So that's what I say. So you that way you haven't. So if you don't know what you want, and let's say, well, it's my relationship, then put my ideal relationship. If you do know what you want, put my ideal financial situation or whatever it is. On the left-hand side, you put everything that you don't want. So if it's to do with abundance, it can be like, I don't like that I have $10,000 in debt. I don't like that I'm always struggling to make ends meet. Like, get clear, right? All of the feelings, like all of the stuff that's stressing you out, get it out. That's the contrast. And guess what, guys? It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do this exercise. So you are focusing on the contrast, but only briefly, right? So this is intentional contrast, right? We're getting it out. Then you go back up to each one of those on the list. You say, well, I don't like that I'm $10,000 in debt. And you ask yourself the reset question, which is, so what do I want? And then you're like, well, I want to be financially free. And then you write that down, and then you cross out the left-hand side and you go down each of those. I don't like that I'm constantly stressed. What do I want? I want to feel, again, financially free. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel abundant. Now, just even saying those words make me feel better. And I think that people don't realize the link. It's our words and our thoughts that are creating the vibration. Okay? And that's what I really want people to get. You are so powerful. This is the Women Empowerment Show. You are so powerful. You have no idea. Most of us don't realize how powerful we are. And so that's the first step. The second step is then you have to be a vibrational match. Okay. So this is where I just say for step 2 is give it focus. You've got to give your goal focus. Once you know what you want, it's not enough to know what you want and then just forget about it. You've got to give your desire energy, attention, and focus. And the tool for that is anything that feels good. Anything that feels good. And then the last step is allow it. You've got to allow it. Know that you're worthy of having that desire. And the tool for allowing is, and I know you do this, like you did it just before the show, is to celebrate every single step along the way of how the universe is supporting you in the evolution of your desire. So I'll give you an example. And for step 2, for something that feels good, a lot of people come to me, they'll say, should I pray or should I do vision boards? And my answer now is, well, would you like to do one? Would it feel good for you to do one? The law of attraction doesn't care what you do, Jessica. It cares about how you feel about what you're doing. So the key is, if it feels good to you, do it. If you don't like vision boards, don't do it, because you actually can be sending out a negative vibration by just doing something that everybody else is doing if it doesn't feel good for you. So I personally like to pray. I like to ask the universe to guide me for signs. And I got a sign on something recently that to move forward with a TV show that I'm currently hoping to sell to. I shouldn't say, I intend to sell.
Yes.
And right. And so I got a sign and I was like, wow. So celebrate those things. Like what did you say before the show? You said something like,
what happened today?
Or your followers and went up, and then you said something about that. I don't know if you want to share, but
no, that's fine. No, I was gonna get into. Sorry, I'm gonna take a minute or two because the women, maybe the people that are watching live, have just met me or just met me in the last year. I was not like this. Who I am today was a journey that started for sure in 2017 after my second toxic relationship. And then I started, like you were saying, to clean things up inside because I was not going to play the victim role here. This happened to me. I know I don't want that for my future, especially not for my daughter. So what am I going to do? And I was hearing Lisa Nichols this week sharing that rescue myself. I need to clean myself first in order to move forward to exactly attract what I want. So I was really on this journey, invested a lot of in coaches and personal growth, and started my relationship with the law of attraction. And telling you, ladies, it works. Okay, it works. It works. It works. I attracted the man of my life, this healthy, loving relationship that I'm currently in. I wrote it down. I was clear on what I didn't want, and I was clear on what I wanted, but I was also clear on what I was feeling as I was with that man in my life, as he was sitting there. And that was like back in 2017, 18, 19, that I wrote that down. So it works. And I was just sharing with Jamie today. This morning, I woke up in a mood. I was tired. The kids didn't sleep well. First thing that happened this morning, this guy that came to repair the house, he was not even supposed to be here. There was no appointments, but he left our house saying, remember that God gave you all these days of your life and to maximize every single day to enjoy. And I was looking at my boyfriend, I'm like, oh my God, like this is clearly the universe sending him because he was not supposed to be here. My state changed like right away from hearing his message. And then I was like, oh, my followers are not going up on my Instagram. I look on my Instagram, 10, 15 plus followers. And then another thing that I wanted to attract is to be part of a magazine. Again, the leader, the founder of the magazine writes me personally. So all so today's has been magical. I might have to go buy a lottery ticket because a lot of magical things are happening. Again, don't compare yourself to me. Please, please. We're all unique. Go ahead. I'll let you
Perfect.
talk.
So that's step 3. What you're doing is you're celebrating. Step 3 is to allow it. The tool for allowing is you
Yes.
need to celebrate everything that's in alignment with your dreams coming true, that are
Yeah.
unexpected, coincidences, signs. You know, if you want to attract more abundance, you make that your intention, and then somebody gives you a book on investing. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Even if
Yes.
it's not the perfect book, just go, oh, that's like, it's like, start looking at it like, oh, that's interesting that I attracted that now. And then, you know, we always say in law of attraction, when you attract something like that, you say, love when that happens. Because a lot of people say, oh, I can't believe this. I was thinking about this, and then I attracted this. And a lot of people say, I can't believe it. And then they negate everything. So what we say is, love when that happens. So I love when that happens for you, because the universe is infinite and it can only get better and better and better, right? So that's yeah, those are the 3 steps, and I use them for everything. And yeah,
I'm for sure going to rewind and read
yeah,
and
I
take
talk
notes because I'm like, I want to learn it. I want to take all the knowledge from you. Beatrice says, I agree 100%. Mary says, this was my literal message to all my IBOs this morning, her business partners, that you are more powerful that you know.
Yeah, and I love what you said, like, don't compare yourself to, because I know a lot of people probably look at you like, wow, she, like, what I like, a lot of people do that. They compare, or they look at other people and go, wow, they have something that I don't have, or whatever. And that's called giving away your light. Okay, that is giving away your light. Yes, you are phenomenal, right? But what I hope that you do for people is that you're inspiring other people to show them what it's possible for themselves. And so what we say in law of attraction is, great. It's great what Jessica's doing. It's great what other people are doing. But your only responsibility is you. Mind your own vibration. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. And that is the positive and the negative thing. You can be inspired by the positive thing, but mind your own vibration and protect it and make sure. And that's all you're doing. You're becomes, and we say, like on the airplane, put your own mask on first. Yes. Selfish in law of attraction is self-care. You need to be selfish enough. And I'm not perfect at this by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a work in process, but I can feel when I'm getting off track. I can feel when I'm people pleasing, or I'm doing, or where I'm getting depleted. And then I'm like, okay, what do I want? I want to take a rest. I want to fill my own tank back up so that and I want to make sure that my vibration is back to feeling good again. So my message for all of you is be selfish enough to only include the things in your life that lift you up and make you feel good and inspired, and give that to yourself as much as possible.
Love it. I want to keep talking to you.
I know.
I want to talk briefly about your flight attendant career, because
Sure.
it is you're the last one of my flight attendant series.
Oh,
Oh my God. So you said 23 years. Let me hear about your flight attendant career, please.
It was always my dream. I'm an aviation geek. It was always my dream since I was a little boy. I was born in Scotland. I lived in Edmonton. We lived in Australia. By the time I was like 10 years old, I had been on 50 airplanes. We had traveled a lot. I might be exaggerating, but there was a lot of traveling. And I remember as a little boy seeing a Qantas Airlines flight attendant, and she was like standing in front of me. I was at the emergency exit row, and she had the phone, and she was like talking to somebody in the back alley. She's like, "Yeah, so when we get to Auckland, do you want to go to the beach?" And I was like, "Oh my God, this is such a cool job." So I wanted to do it since early on, and I really did use law of attraction. I didn't even realize I was using law of attraction to manifest it, because I went to acting school, and I remember even in acting school, we had to do a scene where and so I made everybody on an airplane, and I went through this cabin and be like, "Excuse me, can you put your seat in the upright position? Thank you so much." And I was like closing fake overhead bins. But what I didn't realize as I was aligning myself with the vibration of flight attendant, right? And so which is step 2. I was giving my desire energy, attention, and focus. So yeah, I've been doing it for 23 years. Love it. And I see there's a lot of analogy in building your dreams with being a flight attendant, like following a map, putting your own mask on first, staying in the avoiding turbulence. We don't go into turbulence. We avoid turbulence as much as possible.
Taking off against the wind.
Yeah, there's a lot of analogy for dream building with being a flight attendant. But I believe that once you achieve one dream, it's time to achieve another dream. So I think it's important for all flight attendants to, once your career is over, it doesn't mean that I don't get rid of the word retire. Get rid of it completely and replace it with next chapter, because retire sounds like expire. So if you're on the brink of retiring, you're not expired. It's just your next chapter. So start now, like what you're doing, because I'm sure if you retired tomorrow, you'd miss certain elements, but you'd be so busy with all of your other exciting projects, right? And I think that's really important.
Yeah. So would you, with everything that's happening in the last year with this pandemic, I know you went back to flying a little bit, but many like me have not flown, like literally a year. February 26th was my last flight. And so would you use that same analogy of retirement, new chapter in what's happening in the world right now?
I would love to hear it from you, and I'd love to hear other people who are other flight attendants watching their comments, because for me personally, like I'm actually here in Sherbrooke, Quebec right now, because unfortunately my mother, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and then had a heart attack within like 2 months of each other. And so she needs care, but she's in a senior's residence. And my sister's the only one that's really allowed to go there. And my sister has 2 kids and a farm. So for me, it was a blessing in disguise, because I've been wanting to come to Quebec, but a little bit scared and like just knowing, and I didn't have a lot of time, because my schedule went from having lots of days off to like being on reserve and whatever, right?
Right.
So for me, it's been a huge blessing in disguise. How has it been a blessing for you?
Oh my God, so many blessings. Just being home every single night to put my daughter to bed. Like my oldest daughter is 8 years old, and I had never done that in all her life, right? Like just the first year of her life. But then I went back to flying on reserve for many years. In the beginning, reserve is being like on call, for those that are not familiar with the airline. But to be home and to establish that routine of reading books to her every night has been the greatest blessing. Right. Being able to not be jet lagged, let's face it, it's not easy. Let's be honest. Right? It's not easy. To have manifested the love of my life and to be able to cherish and build that relationship. So there's so many things I can say, but literally I'm grateful every single day because I hold on to, the fact that I will be back. I'll be back, but for a time period, I can get to focus on other projects I've been wanting to do. So it's amazing. So the new chapter title, I love it. I really love it.
And I remember when I was being coached a long time ago by a really good life coach, and I remember I had transferred to Toronto and I was commuting and I didn't really like it. So I was I was living in Montreal, but based in Toronto. I was commuting and I wasn't too sure if I'd made the right decision. And she said, how are you going to make it a wonderful experience? And I was like, commuting is not a wonderful experience. What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? But she was like, no, Jamie, really think about it. How will you make it a wonderful experience? I said, well, I can show up earlier. I can read books on the flight. I can connect with people I haven't seen in Toronto, at the comm center, at the, where the flight attendants meet. And so I invite everyone to, if you're feeling like, oh my God, this is really challenging. This sucks being laid off. Just ask yourself that same question. Okay, it is happening. It has happened. So how are you going to make it a wonderful experience? I'd love to hear the comment section.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Pili is with us. Hello, Pili. She says hello. Hello, family. Welcome. We're going to slowly wrap things up. I would love to keep talking to you and keep talking to you. So right now you're focusing on incredible new projects. Do you want to share a little bit of what you're working on right now?
Well, sure. I've got a lot on the go, but I'm writing a children's book with my mother. It's about a little girl with a disability. So we're going to be done in a few months. And then I'm building up my new coaching page, because my old coaching page, I ended up doing some online marketing and I used it for that. So I do teach people how to build an online business as well. That's my former page. Some of you might be following me on Jamie Smith Coaching, but I've created a page just for life coaching, and it's called Creative Solutions with Coach Jamie. So if you want to follow me there, that's where I'll be launching all the other law of attraction stuff that I'm going to be doing. So.
Is that the best place to follow you?
Yeah, I would say that, Creative Solutions with Coach Jamie. And then if you just want funny and silly stuff on Instagram, I'm at Jamie Smith Actor. And that's where once my TV show sells, you'll hear about it there.
Oh my God, you made me think. One night I had a difficult phone call with a good friend of mine and I was not feeling good at all. The conversation didn't go well at all. And another flight attendant from Montreal shared one of your posts to me that night. And I was like, wow, I haven't spoken to that flight attendant in months.
Wow.
That's exactly the one that I'm not going to use the profanity that was in the video, but it doesn't matter. Bad vibes are not welcome. Yeah. And I was like, how did you know that I needed to see that video?
Yeah.
So thank you. Keep sharing the funny stuff, because they do make a huge difference. I'm telling you. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
That's my sweet spot. My sweet spot is comedy and motivation together. Yeah.
I love it. And then the puppet one, I love it. I love it. So keep doing it, please. Last question I want to ask you, Jamie. How do you incorporate the law of attraction? Well, how did you incorporate it as a flight attendant? And now how do you incorporate it without being a flight attendant?
Oh, wow. As a flight attendant, and I've always said this for years, but I always said we're not flight attendants, we're peacemakers.
Yes. I love it.
I think flight attendants are exceptional beings. We all, admit it. Say yes in the comment section if you're a flight attendant. We can tell if you're pouring a drink on the bar trolley, you can tell if somebody 4 rows behind you needs something. You can just sense it, right? We all have this sixth sense. All of us. Right. Flight attendants we have almost an added layer of awareness. And I think that flight attendants can, whatever we put our minds to, we can't, because I really truly think that about flight attendants. We don't get enough credit in the news and the media. We really don't, but we are, my God, we're exceptional beings. So that's what I say. But so I really try to, because I know that there's a book about, I forget the name of the book, but there's a woman who had a stroke. She lost, I can't remember which part of her brain she lost, but she could really feel the energy of people. And I think it's called My Stroke of insight or something.
Okay.
And what she realized, she could feel everybody's energy. She could feel if the nurse who came into her room was in a bad mood and not really liking her job. And she could feel the energy of the nurse that really loved her job. And so she wrote a sign, even while she was recovering from a stroke. And she said, please take responsibility for the energy that you bring to the space, because our energy does affect others. And so I really got clear so that's what I try to do at work. And if I'm stressed out, the outside is a reflection of the inside. But if I'm calm, my flights are calm generally,
Yes.
So that's how I try to do that at work, because I really believe, everybody's like, what's my purpose in life? What's my purpose? You know what your purpose is? Your purpose is just to be a loving presence here now.
Yes.
At work, yes. And whatever you do, and then that will lead you to the next thing. So don't worry so much about what's your purpose in life. Your purpose is you don't know how, I mean, sometimes at work, one kind thing a flight attendant can say to me, I was having a bad day. One flight attendant goes, you know, Jamie, you're fabulous. And I didn't even know that she liked me. And she said that to me. And honestly, it meant a lot.
Yeah.
That those things we can lift each other up by the smallest thing. So that's what I do. And I do that now when I'm not like, that's what I try to do. And I think one of the best ways you can do to bring that into day-to-day life is to start your day off with something that is inspirational. I read a book of prayers. You can do that. You can meditate. You can look out in nature with a cup of tea and think about and visualize your day going well. But how you start your day sets the tone for the entire day.
Love it. Love it. If somebody that's watching might be saying, what's my purpose? I do want to specify one of the books that completely transformed that question for me was the Success Principles.
Ooh, cool.
By Jack Canfield.
He's amazing.
And it was actually a flight attendant that had talked to me about that book. And love it, because he makes you do a lot of exercises on what you like, what you'd like to achieve, and really helps you find that purpose. So Success Principles by Jack Canfield. It's lovely. Love it. And I agree 100% with what you're saying. That's why I love to board the plane, because I love to sparkle my energy. And then it makes a difference. Honestly, when people ask me the bad situations, I seem to not remember or not have them so much, just because sparkle all the positive energy when they enter the plane. It works, guys, ladies. I'm gonna read the 2 quotes that I picked for today.
Sure.
And then we already shared how they can best reach you in the comments, like every week when I share this video in my Women Empowerment by Jessica DSB. In the comments, Jamie will put his links to the Instagram and all the websites so you can follow him. I'm going to read the 2 quotes, and then I'll let you finish off with whatever thought sets on your heart that you want to share with us today. So I am creating the life of my dreams. The one that I picked for today. And the entire universe is conspiring to give you everything that you want. And that's Abraham Hicks.
Beautiful.
Natalie says, gotta love Jamie. Yes. Hey, Amy, welcome. So Jamie, let me hear what you'd like to close off with. Just a recap for those that are just joining us. We talked about the law of attraction. We didn't go into much energy healing. We'll have maybe a part 2 later this year. But the importance of the law of attraction, Jamie was kind and generous to give us a few trainings. So go replay, watch from the beginning. And I'll let you hear, let you speak, please.
Not much. We've said a lot, and
I know.
I think you're phenomenal. You're doing a great job. Keep up this amazing show that you're doing. And I think I'll just leave you with, as a gay man, I struggle with so much self-worth and like not feeling good enough, like something was wrong with me, and just feeling like everybody else was succeeding and I wasn't. And I just kept getting this repetitive message from so many people. Even at an acting class I went to, the teacher put his hand on my shoulder and said, Jamie, you're enough. You're enough. And I relaxed. And I got into that natural state. So that's my message for every single person: is build your dreams, dream big, but dream big from a place of knowing you're enough as you are. And that helps you to get in touch with your authentic desires, the desires of your heart. You're enough.
You are enough. What a wonderful message for today, International Women's Day. Woohoo! So again, celebrate yourself. Remind yourself that you are enough. Be kind and loving. I keep repeating those words, but I tell them to myself. Keep being kind and loving to yourself. Go celebrate all the wonderful women in your life today. Go say, like you were just sharing with us, Jamie, just one word makes a huge difference. So go tell a woman today how wonderful they are. That's it. That's my call to action. So
yes.
Lori says, please, can I share this interview on my business page? Of course, share away. Again, I cannot thank you enough, Jamie, for having said yes, for this wonderful conversation, for who you are, your authentic wisdom, everything that you are. It's such a pleasure. Thank you for everything that you do. I look forward to keeping an eye on all your upcoming projects and celebrate you as well. And for everybody that's watching, I'll be back this Wednesday. It's my Women in Power event. And then next week, by the way, Jamie, you're invited. Next, the Wednesday after, March 17th, we'll have a flight attendant party. Just all the flight attendants that were on the show, just to close off the series and party and enjoy the time together. So enjoy your day. Happy Monday, new week, new goals. Go kill it. Let's go. Energy. Love you guys.
If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share with the people that you love and care about. Jessica DSB.